Hello and all, and welcome to a brand new RWBY discussion video type thing. One day I'll get an intro for this thing right. Whatever. I am the Max of Your Trades. With me, as always, is...
that Britman guy. I don't know.
He is a Britman.
Whatever.
He is a Britman. That is true. And we are here to talk about the newest, RWBY episode that came out. Well, I mean, the newest one that's public, anyway. So.
Yeah, because we're not posting these until the episode is public.
Yeah, I've actually had a couple people ask me about that. It's like, you realize that would be a crime. A mild crime, but a crime. Anyway, we have got a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm a feeling like we should probably just jump right into it. Okay. Well, you see, here's the thing. For many, many moons, people were wondering, Ozpin, what's up with that guy? And then a giant naked blue lady showed up and said, let me explain you a thing. And now, she explains the thing. Exactly. Who knew that our savior would be giant naked blue lady?
Giant naked blue lady.
Yep, that's who she is. Anyway, Salem! She used to not be ugly. So that's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think we kind of assumed.
I don't know.
At some point.
Anyway.
Although I was speculating she was like a grim goddess or something.
Well, I mean, you're not entirely wrong. But
yeah.
We'll get to that. The point is, the story of the woman in the tower turns out also a real story. Can we talk about how surreal it must be for Ozpin to have lived for so long that events he took direct part in ended up becoming fairy tales?
I mean, I could not imagine what that would be like.
I know, right? It would be so weird. It's like, I don't know, if you brought just somebody from the past before they ever really realized how big of a deal they became later in history. And they'd be all like, whoa, this is weird. I'm just some dude. But yeah, all of his various exploits. Anyway, magic. It was a thing. Everyone had it, and it was a swell time. So, of course, obviously that couldn't last forever, but we'll get to that. Point is, Salem has a dad who is awful, and locked him in a tower. Parallels!
Yeah, and no, this does not mean Weiss is going to become evil.
She better not.
Yeah, she better not. I don't want anyone in Team RWBY to turn evil.
I'm just saying, man, if that happens, you're gonna have to find a new co-host.
Oh, I don't want to.
Exactly. Anyway, and so we learn about a guy...
I don't like change.
No one likes change. We learn about a guy, his name be Ozma.
The only change I like is money.
That's true. He tries to... Crow tries to get Ozma to notice him.
Notice me, senpai.
Yes. But he can't, because this is some sort of freaky time vision. Interesting that this is stuff Crow's learning for the first time, too, actually.
Yeah. I think he would have been, like, filled in more about this.
I mean, at least slightly more, but I guess Ozpin's really been just keeping everything from them. Well, not everything. Yeah. Everything, but...
Kind of makes you wonder how much, like, Lionheart or Ironwood, like, knew about everything.
It's safe to assume Raven figured something out, at least.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's the one who asked the first question.
Interesting that you would say that, because I have an interesting counter theory.
Okay.
Would you like to know the counter theory?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a theory that actually came from a friend of mine, and we'll see how you feel about it before we continue on with the little story here.
Okay.
Alright, so, remember at the end of the previous volume, where Yang went into the weird pocket dimension to grab the lampy thing? And it was all whispery noises at her?
Yes.
And then Yang broke down in sobbing tears and whatnot? What if she, inaudibly, to us, inadvertently asked a question?
What, so, like, unintentionally, mentally asked it a question?
Yes. She was holding it when she broke down. Maybe she learned something.
Maybe.
I'm just saying, it's worth thinking about.
Yeah, it's worth thinking about, and hell, I was like throwing all sorts of stuff out there while watching this episode.
Exactly. We get a lot of information. Anyway,
yeah.
So I don't entirely understand, like, I guess just because her dad was awful, she got locked in the tower, and then I guess a bunch of people heard about, they're like, yay, over yonder there be pretty lady who's stuck in house.
Yeah, and if I free her, I marry her.
I don't even know if that's something that was established. I think it's just like, yo, there's somebody up there. And everyone's like, yeah, let's do that, and then they end up dying.
No, it was said, like, many tried to save her, like, for her hand.
Nah. Well, then some dude, he's Ozma. He shows up and he's like, yo, I don't even want to marry that lady. I just want to punch some stuff.
I just want to save her because I'm a good guy. And
he struts all up into Mordor and fights some dudes. It's pretty crazy. I'm not even sure what he's doing. I guess he just has, like, magic blasts that he launches out of his scepter.
Pew, pew, pew.
Which is not his cane, which makes me wonder just when the cane became a thing.
Well, we know when it became a thing.
No, we don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's later on in the episode, we'll get to it.
Okay, fine. Either way, he magics some fools, and then he finds the lady, and the lady's all like, oh, dag, yo, how'd it be? And he be all like, yo, it be good. And then they left, and they were like, I guess we're just friends now. And then they became way more than just the friends now.
Yeah.
And apparently that's where the, I guess, the Woman in the Tower storybook probably ends.
Yeah, they lived happily ever after. But
or
wait,
did they?
More.
There's always more. So they're like, you know, they hung out, they did adventures, but then Ozma, like, just up and died.
Yeah, he got sick.
He got sick full of the who even knows what. And it's all like, how ironic that he could fight all of these monsters, but he couldn't fight the monster inside himself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say it's cancer.
Probably.
Anyway.
Or, I don't know, something else that we don't know about. It could be something brand new.
True. That's fair.
In RWBY that we don't know of.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. There's probably a million diseases that they've invented. Anyway.
Death Note Space AIDS.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what?
It's a Death Battlecast reference.
Okay. Well, then we'll just roll with that. Anyway, so Salem was feeling pretty bummed about her hubby being all, you know, dead and stuff. And she cursed the gods. Yeah, and she cursed the gods, as you do. And she's all like, oh, wait, the gods. Maybe I can, like, make them do something for me.
If I go over there and say, please, maybe they'll say, yeah, sure. And
just break all rules of time and space, bring someone back to life. So she goes over to the god of light, whose name is, I don't even remember, Cornelius, maybe. And
actually, no, in RWBY Rewind, the lore expert they had gave a name for both brothers.
What's that?
Thanos.
Boo.
They're just both called Thanos.
Boo.
So we got light Thanos over here.
Whatever, fine. Either way, I don't know, Golden Horns here is all like, yo, y'all gotta learn to deal with it, y'all. And then he just sort of pieces out, and Salem isn't really happy about that. So she's all like, fine, well, if the god of light's not gonna be nice to me, maybe I'll go convince the god of death. Because, you know, that's the sensible reaction that everyone would have, I guess.
Apparently.
Well, like, hey, okay, fine. If I can't barter with God, I'll barter with Satan. What could go wrong?
Everything.
Yeah, it turns out everything. Anyway, Dark God, Mr. Goathorn's here. He does a weird little convulsion thing as he ripples out of his weird little pool. I don't know why he did that. I guess he was just deliberately trying to be creepy.
He had to stretch. No one visits him.
That's true. He did say that nobody ever visits him. Can't imagine why. Seems like such a great guy.
Yeah, everyone just judges him immediately. Like, oh, God of Darkness, he's naturally evil. I'm not going to go and see him. He just wants to be loved.
To be fair, actually, I don't think either god are completely, you know, morally upstanding, but I also don't think one of them is more malicious than the other.
No.
I think, because destruction and death are the other half of life, you know, so, and creation, so it's a balance.
Yeah.
Either way, so Salem goes up and he's all like, yo, I don't even know who your brother is. Reginald, maybe? Doesn't matter. I worship you. And he's all like, oh, dang, I'm flattered. And he's like, okay, fine, here, have your dude back. And just magics up a dude. Just Blazambo.
Yep. And he has no clue what's going on, but before anything can happen...
He's very deeply confused.
Wouldn't you be?
Oh, yeah, no, I thought I was the deaded. But then Light God shows up, and he's all like, no! And Thanos is that fool.
Oh, I just want to point this out. When Salem... Like, this is in my reaction, I just saw the opportunity for this and took it. When Salem was like, what did you do? I just went, he did this.
I mean, basically. And he's like, and Salem's like, nah, you done killed him. Stop doing that. And the God of Darkness is all like, bro, I just fixed that thing.
Yeah, she came to me, let me do my thing.
And then he just recombobulates them like that. And then he's all like, dude, the other God's like, dude, no, this ain't cool. And then she's like, you know, she like lied and tricked you. And he's all like, oh, dang,
yeah.
yo.
I actually want to throw this out there. Like, this guy, Dark Thanos, he was just like, after hearing it, he was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he like rectified it.
I know, right? I was like, oh, my bad. Sorry, I'm very desperate for attention. So I just kind of... But it also shows that, yeah, the gods are pretty easy to trick, all things considered. Turns out they're not omniscient, otherwise both of them would just kind of know instinctively. Anyway, so Dark God's all like, oh, dang, well, that sucks. And then he just breathes, like, cosmic dust, turns the dude into ash again. Salem's not too happy about that. And then Salem's like, all right, fine, then, I'll just murder God. And then the gods are like, ha ha ha, no.
Yep.
And then she gets eaten, which makes her fall through the sky and land in a puddle and become immortal.
Yeah.
Which, I gotta be perfectly honest with you.
Not the best call.
Not the best call. I was like, hey, hey, brother, what should we do with this clearly deeply unhinged lady who really, really, really hates us? Make her live forever. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
I mean, this kind of goes into something I was always being taught in religious studies when I was in school. Like, everything that happens is like a test by God or whatever. Yeah. So I think that's the sole reason for this. Like, it's a test.
Well, they did want her to be like, you know, learn from this, and she did, just in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, go be immortal somewhere else, yo, because we ain't gonna be dealing with that. And then she just tries to kill herself, and that's dark as hell.
Yeah.
Like, it was in silhouette and everything, but, like, goddamn, RWBY. Whew. That caught me off guard.
Me too.
And they're like, out of all the ways, I guess that was the most visually distinctive way they could show it without showing it, I guess. But it's like, yeah, she just straight up stabs herself, and RWBY's like, yo! But then she just pulls it out, and she's like, damn, I am immortal, that sucks. Because I want to be dead with my dead friend.
Yep, and she's like, wait, I got the ghosts to turn on each other. Maybe I could get people to overthrow them.
It's true. And I really do... Okay, it's messed up as all hell, but I do deeply enjoy Salem's method for getting all of the kingdoms to believe her. Is like, yo, try and kill me. Bet you can't. And that's actually darkly brilliant. It's like, no, I met the gods. They made me immortal. So you should probably listen to me. So like, yo, get anybody you want. Just hack away. It ain't gonna do nothing. Which is just bananas. But it worked. So yeah, she convinces everybody to go and fight the gods. And the gods are like, who done did this? And she's all like...
And then she's like, it was I! Salem!
Like, remember me? I thought you saw I bet you thought you saw the last of me. Turns out I'm very spiteful. So she brings a very large army of people over, and the gods are like, dude, really? And then the god of destruction is all like, okay, well, here's my retort. Everybody dies.
Oh, actually, they fired a whole bunch of magic at his hand.
Yeah.
And then he's like...
Well, there were some arrows in there, too.
I know. And then he's all like, you should have gone for the head.
Nah, he said, that's not cool. That's my thing. I gave you that thing, and you're squandering it? Then nay. And then everyone was dead, except for Salem. And the gods are like, well, have fun with that. and then they
It
just
must suck
they just peace out.
Like, it must suck for people who didn't do anything.
No,
They're just, like,
we
minding
see
their own
multiple
business,
scenes
and
of
they
just
were like-
people in town just doing
Yeah.
nothing, and then they just get killed.
I just imagine like some guy walking around and just going, "Hey, what's that beam of light that's coming towards me?"
Yeah, pretty much. But the gods, man, they are kind of the worst. That is just like, wow, this one lady that we made immortal is doing bad stuff. Guess we
Yeah,
gotta kill everyone but her.
Yeah, it's not like we could remove that or anything.
And then we get an explanation as to why the moon done got all smashed up.
Because Dark Thanos was like, "Peace, I'm out, and I'm destroying the moon as I go."
Which I
To
can only
rain
assume he
fire
did.
on the planet.
Which I can only assume he did out of spite, seeing as how his brother, like, didn't do that. He's just like, I'm gonna destroy part of the moon too. Have fun with this. And then Sam's like,
anyway.
dang.
We finally have the answer as to why the moon is shattered and why no one brings it up.
Yeah, turns out it's just been that way since forever from most people's perspective.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I guess it's just the way the moon is. Which, like, okay, to be fair, alright.
Yeah.
That's
and
a
I
good
wanna,
reason.
like, there are some things from RWBY Rewind I wanna throw out there.
Go ahead.
So, with all the people on Earth, like, getting turned into dust and whatnot, could this mean that dust, like, is the remnants of, like, magic that was in the world? So it was formed from, like, the ashes of all of those people?
Yeah.
So it's not far off from what we do with, like, dinosaurs.
True. And not to mention, and this is just clever, this place is but a remnant of what it once was.
And there's a name.
There you go. Anything else before we continue?
No, that's about it.
Alright.
All I can think of.
So Salem kind of just wanders the earth. I guess animals were spared, because there were some deer. And I guess over time, humanity recreated itself?
Yeah, like, evolution happens.
Again, so that's a couple million years or something.
Yeah, so Salem is very, very old.
Yeah, she's very old and very angry. And then she's like, oh, hey, wait, the darkness pit. Well, if the light one made me immortal, maybe this one will make me unimmortal.
Nope.
As it turns out, that's not how that works. Because I imagine if she fell into this without being immortal, she would have just straight up died. But the combination of the two, you just made her Salem. Like, the Salem we know.
And this is something that I've seen some people theorize on, even on RWBY Rewind as well. Like, because the darkness pool made her, like, even more evil and, like, bent on destruction.
Yeah. What
if she took another bath in, like, the good pool?
I don't know. Considering
But
she already
keep
took...
Keep in mind, from what we know of Wizard of Oz, water, kind of, does that to witches.
Maybe that's how they'll end up killing her. By
I
dunking
have
her.
another theory on that.
Oh, well, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, we will.
So, I gotta wonder, like, maybe Salem took multiple dips in that pool? Because, I mean, she looks more like her, but she doesn't have her vein things going on.
Maybe that just came from, like, more age.
Maybe. I mean, it just be stylistic. Who knows? Either way, Ozma is in the void, and he sees God, and God's all like, hey, sorry about all that. Want to be
sorry
God?
Sorry about killing you multiple times.
He's like, yeah, sorry about all that. You want to be God? And Ozma's like, what? Here, have some relics. Bye.
I mean, at first he didn't really want to, but then he hears Salem's still alive, and he's like, I'll go.
He was like, oh, by the way, yeah, okay, so all of humanity is dead except for your girlfriend, except she's evil now. Anyway, here, have some relics. I'm going to be back in 1 billion years, and if you don't make everybody good, I'm going to blow you all up. So, bye.
Yeah, and that's something that has me thinking, the whole fauna stuff.
Yeah.
That's gotta, like, the human v fauna thing, that's gotta be put to a stop.
Yeah, that's
gotta end.
But yeah, it is really just, why did the god do this? It's like, hey, one random dude, I'm gonna give you eternal life, sort of. But not the same eternal life that I gave that other lady. You're just gonna keep bip-bop, bibbity-bopping around time and space every time you die.
Yeah, and fusing with random people.
Until you become like 50 people.
It happens. You know, there's actually this thing I saw on Twitter. I didn't retweet it because sometimes I'm self-conscious about like spoiling things for a particular friend.
Yeah.
I know you don't. I know you have different feelings on this show, but there are these things in Rick and Morty called Mr. Mises, and someone took dialogue from them and just had hand-drawn images of like Oscar, Osborn, and all the different people Osborn has been infused with.
Gotcha.
And he's just like, I can't take this anymore. I just want to die.
I mean,
like, well, he brought me into this. That's only because he brought me into this.
That is a good reference. That is good. That is good. But
I
anyway,
thought it was funny.
It is, and
it's true.
It is, and Ozpin is just like, okay, so, man, fine, okay, I guess I'll go be humanity's savior or whatever, and then he just kind of gets flash fried all up into some dude. And that dude's like, yo, what's going on here? But then Ozpin's like, I am here. And stabs a Beowulf.
It's my body now.
Pretty much. And he's like, what just happened? And so, I guess they had to kind of get used to that. Oscar looks on, as if to say, I know that feel, my dude. I was just some random guy with a pitchfork at one point.
And then all of a sudden there's a voice in my head.
Yeah, and then I became the voice in my head. Which is still wiggity weird, by the way.
Now you know how Yukimoto felt.
True. And then we see Faunus in cages, because that's fun.
Yeah.
So, Ozma, I guess he still technically is wandering around, doing what he does. And then he's like, yo, watch out, there's a crazy witch. So he goes to see the crazy witch, and it turns out it's not just any crazy witch at all. In fact,
it's Salem.
It is Salem, his crazy witch. And despite the fact that she is some sort of horrifying dark-eyed mime, and he is literally an entirely separate individual entirely, they instantly know each other. It's like, oh, hey, it's you. And they're like, well, I guess we'll just pick up where we left off, I guess. Like, I don't know. I get it, you know, love and everything, but like...
There's a numerology tie.
Is there? Oh, you mean the love aspect or something else other than that?
Yep.
Okay, well, cool. Also, Salem is taller. That's kind of funny to me. Or maybe she's just standing on a step. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, like, okay, so now... That's true. And I just really like that. I like the idea that the very first thing that either of them ever says is, so, now what?
I mean, that's kind of what happened after Ozma got Salem out of the tower.
I know, but it's a good callback, but it's also very funny. So, I guess Ozma, like, fixes up their little house shack, and they talk, and they tell each other about things. But they don't tell each other.
Not
everything, and their pacts with gods. You know, their relationship isn't really that deep enough yet for that kind of knowledge.
Yeah.
So then one fine day, they're just chilling, having some tea, and Salem's all like, hey, you know, we could probably go convince those people that we're God. And Ozma's like, I don't know about that, dear. And she's like, don't be a wuss. And he's like, oh, you got me there.
Yeah, and I want to draw attention to this line. The hearts of men are easily swayed.
It's true.
First of all, that's sexist. Second of all, it's absolutely true.
Yes, yeah. No, very much so, especially when faced with something they don't understand.
Yeah, and I want to say maybe that's why it's just young girls that can become, like, they can have the powers of the maidens. Because hearts of men be too easily swayed.
That's sexist. Women can be manipulated too. And this show has the gall and audacity to imply they can't. Don't even know how to respond to that, do you?
Not really.
Anyway,
moving on.
Anyway, here's a question for you. All right, so difficult to imagine, obviously, but imagine you were in Ozma's shoes, technically, and you're like, man, okay, so I think my girlfriend's still alive. I'm gonna go find her, and then you find her, and like, you know, not only is her skin completely white, not only are her eyes now bright red, not only are her fingernails apparently now just permanently black. I just gotta wonder, wouldn't you, for just the briefest of moments, go, huh, I think something interesting happened here.
Yeah, probably. I would ask, like, so, what's new?
Yeah, I get that they talk to each other and everything, but it's just like, how stereotypically evil can somebody look before someone doesn't have to really ask about it? Like, she is the most evil-looking person. And Ozma's all like, "Aw, but that's my girl, though." Anyway, she manages to convince Ozma into, you know, being a god with her, because
plus
hearts of man are easily swayed, including yours. Ha ha! Parallels.
Yeah, pretty much. So then people are running, there's another one flying around, and then it gets crushed.
Yeah, they just... It didn't get crushed, it kind of got Ermacked. From Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I've never actually seen footage of Ermac.
You disgust me.
Hey, most of my Mortal Kombat knowledge comes from death battles.
Alright, fine. Well, basically Ermac is he's a telepath, and he can, like, lift you in the air and just break all of your dang bones. And twist and turn you into horrible places.
Ugh.
Yeah, so that's just something he does. He's also a body with at least 1,000 souls inside him, so, I mean, there's another parallel for you. Anyway, everyone just immediately... They see these flying people, and they're like, yeah, okay, we'll worship that. And then they just start doing it. Like, nobody even asked a question. There's just like, is your God? Praise be! Like, my God, let's not even bother asking questions.
I mean, wouldn't you if you saw flying people that could do crazy stuff like that?
I'd ask more questions before I just randomly started bowing before them. Anyway, they became the king and queen of everything, and it was good. Then they had babbies. 4 babbies.
4 girl babbies.
That's also important to take note of. And, you know, they totally aren't wearing the colors of spring, summer, fall, and winter. And one of them... Okay, here's the thing. I know that Raven is currently the Spring Maiden. And the prevailing theory is that Yang could potentially become the Spring Maiden.
Yes.
But the Spring Maiden here, assuming they are the Maidens, and I guess they aren't because he didn't give them the power, but I don't know, there could be more to the story we don't know. Point is, freaking little tiny maybe the Spring Maiden is running around with a stuffed dog that looks a lot like Zwei.
Huh. See
what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there was the original theory that RWBY be spring, Yang be summer, because, of course.
Well, yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Weiss winter.
I feel like that just kind of enforces it. But either way.
I prefer your idea, though.
Yeah, I like my idea better, too. But, you know, whatever. As long as they get superpowers, it doesn't really matter. Also, I don't know if it's just the perspective, but, man, Salem's got a huge head. Anyway, they're very happy about all these baddies that are running
you're
about.
Like Chandler from that one episode of Friends.
Yeah, you know, that one.
Yeah, where he's like, my God, that's a big head. Okay, focus on other things.
It's a very big head!
Big head.
It's a very big head. Anyway, Salem's like, okay, so we're gods and everything. I think we should probably start subjugating fools. And Ozma's all like, I don't know, dear. That sounds kind of evil. And she's all like, me? Evil? What?
Not to mention, that's not what he asked me to do. Wait. Who asked you to do what in the where now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And one of their daughters shows that they have magic, which I guess we forgot to mention the gods also took.
Yeah, so maybe enforces the whole maiden thing.
I mean, that really does seem to be the implication. I don't know. Maybe...
The thing is, the world of Remnant...
actually, if they were the maidens, those 4 little girls... Yeah. Okay, well, spoiler alert, they all die. They might have just... I mean, if they're not thinking of a specific person at the time of death, they, like, just kind of fly off.
It goes to someone random.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's conceivable.
But here's the thing, there's that world of Remnant, and 4 sisters visit this old man.
And they are sisters.
And these 4 girls, they teach him these valuable lessons, and as a reward, he gives them the maiden powers.
Well, if there's anything we've learned about the story of the girl in the tower, there's more to the story than what we've been told. I feel like we've been given the official you know, published version, not the actual real story.
Well, and I guess Osmond did say he gave the maidens, like, their powers. He just didn't say, because they were my daughters at one point.
That's true, he never did. Not,
I mean, to be fair, I'm actually questioning, how did he get the chamber for the relics to be only accessed by the people with the powers?
There are many, there are still questions. Although, I'd actually say that this episode answered more questions than it ended up asking.
Yeah.
But it still asked a couple. Anyway, so the tiny little babby is like, yo, check out these magical colors and stuff. And Salem actually doesn't look horrifyingly evil for a second. She actually looks very proud.
Yeah.
Which was nice. But then Ozma's like, oh, dang, things about to go bad. I better go tell the lady about all this. And then it turns out Salem's not too happy about all of that.
And she's thinking, hey, let's get all of humanity wiped out except for us. And be, like, god dictators.
And then Ozma's like, I don't know about that. I think I'm gonna take my daughters and run off. And also, wow, either the quote-unquote Winter Maiden is... There's a weird perspective going on there, or she inherited her mom's giant head.
You fixate on giant heads.
Well, dude, look! It's like the little green girl is all, like, super tiny, and the white one, the winter one is all, like, the big head! It's weird! Anyway, Salem murders
Maybe
them.
they're a Ruby Chibi character.
Maybe. Anyway, Salem shows up and he's all like, oh no, don't go there. And Ozma's like, I'm gonna have to go there. And then Salem's like, fine. And then she murders all of them. Just all of them.
Well, I mean, we don't see the daughters die, but the stuffed dog is on the ground.
The stuffed dog is on the ground and the build.
Like...
Okay, they were in the room where gigantic beams of magic were being flung around all over the place, and we've seen what that does to people, you know, who actually have all of their, you know, training and stuff. And then the whole dang castle just kind of explodes. It's safe to assume they did.
Yeah.
And the Grimm are like, dang, we didn't even do that. Anyway, so...
And then that one Beowulf is like, I want credit.
Yeah, pretty much. And here's the thing. Alright, so as Ozma is dragging himself in a pool of his own blood, very dark, it looks like he actually technically won, and this would have been over if Salem wasn't immortal. Because it looked like she was just flat out incinerated. But then her ashes just kind of recombobulated back into herself.
Well, there goes my idea of disintegrating her.
Yeah, I don't think that'll work. And then she's all like, why did you make me murder our children? And he says, like, because, like, bruh, that's bad. And before he could even get a chance to say anything, fireball! And then his face was melted. And thus begun the very, very long adventures of Ozma, trying to, I guess... You ever see Quantum Leap?
Isn't that the show where the guy is, like, making all these leaps to different periods in time, inhabiting different bodies, and hoping the next leap will be the leap home?
Yes.
I saw some of one episode in school once.
Well, then the point of the matter is you get the general concept. So it's a lot like that, because Ozma, his spirit just kind of bounces from person to person, trying to do the best he possibly can. I do like that they actually managed, they threw in that, it's like, some of those were spent in just, like, entire lives were just spent in mourning, which is really kind of a huge bummer for the people who ended up having their lives wasted with Ozma's alcoholism.
Yeah.
But, we see a good number of dudes that he once was. And eventually he becomes Dad Ozpin, as I think everyone's been called.
Yeah. By
and
the way,
at one point the
cane...
No, yeah, I just realized, yeah, in this thing. The thing just sort of the scepter just turns into the cane. That's weird.
Yeah, so maybe, like, modified it a little.
Maybe. Either way, I like that they call this one Dad, because he's got cargo pants.
And,
well,
like... And he has 2 kids.
Yeah, I know that, but also, we didn't know that at the time.
And then speaking of his 2 kids...
But hang on, hang on! Hang on!
I'm hanging on.
Okay. I have to wonder, how many lives, like, and I don't mean, like, how many people he's been, how many of the people that Ozpin has been had lives and, like, got families and stuff. Because, I mean, he learns to, like, coexist with everybody. I get that. But, like, how many technical children do you think Ozpin has?
That is a good question.
And...
I mean, considering how long he's likely been around for...
I mean, it's possible he has a, like, I don't know, some of his DNA is in just about everybody ever. It's weird to think, but I feel like that's something that's possible.
Though, you might not like where I'm going with this.
Oh, good. Alright, anyway, you were talking about the daughters.
Wait, is it 2 daughters?
It is, looks like it. I'll take another gander.
Look at their eyes.
They're kind of greenish-brown.
I mean, it's not what everyone's been saying about them, and I actually agree with them.
Okay, I'm looking in their eyes even more. I mean, I guess that one could be a boy, but I think it's a girl. Okay.
Silver eyes.
Really?
Yeah.
They look brown.
I mean, the one on the left especially looks silver.
Huh. Well, anyway.
So is it possible that Ozpin's descendants with a being who wasn't, like, Salem?
Maybe?
Could they be silver-eyed warriors?
Maybe? I don't know.
So would that mean Ozpin is part of RWBY's ancestral tree, which...
Oh! Now that RWBY is there? Oh, yeah. Okay, I was unsure, because we talked about this on off-screen, about how the lighting makes eye colors look weird. And, yeah, RWBY just got shown on screen, and I see her eyes, and I'm like, yeah, now I actually do see it. They are the same. So then, yeah, I guess Ozpin could be just a super-de-duper, really, 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 really distant relative.
And just throwing this out there, this also makes the Rose Garden ship even creepier.
No, it doesn't.
Well, because Ozpin is in Oscar.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, but he's in Oscar, but he's not Oscar.
Still, the fact he's there and potentially
he'll get assimilated into Oscar's brain.
Yeah, but the fact he might technically be a relative of RWBY.
Yeah, from like 30 bazillion years ago, dude. If you go that far back, every one of us is related to each other.
Okay, good point. Forget I said that.
like seriously, go back far enough, and eventually everyone's family tree connects.
Especially if you go by the Bible.
Yeah. So that's a discussion for another time and place. But
we likely won't have it though.
Exactly. But so I don't know. I mean, as long as there's like, I don't know, 30 degrees of separation at that point genetically, I don't think there's really much of a difference.
Anyway, so
I make him uncomfortable.
Is working on the cane.
Yeah, and he puts it in a safe and tells his future self, Mr. Mustache,
to go and get it.
Yeah, and he's like, all right. And then he found the genie lamp, and he's all like, yo, giant naked blue lady, how do I kill this witch lady? And then she's all like, nah, you can't, yo.
All right. Now here is where my theory comes in.
I'm listening to your theory.
Okay, so it's the way that was worded. Ozpin asks, how do I destroy Salem?
Yes.
And
not
Jin
how
says,
someone else does it.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't. And it's true.
So that
because Ozpin's wasted his power, and you gotta realize, Ozpin at full power was, like, maybe, like, just on Salem's level, but has definitely gotten way, way, way weaker since then. So he needs other people, so that explains a lot.
I also think... Hold on. What about the Silver Eyes?
What about the Silver Eyes?
Is it possible that maybe, with the Relic of Recreation, because he did seek out their power, maybe he thought, hey, maybe if I can't destroy Salem, perhaps it's possible I could create something that could. And
then he vomits up a bunch of Silver Eyes. It makes sense.
And what do the Silver Eyes hurt?
Grim peoples. So it would definitely... RWBY's powers would definitely hurt Salem.
Well, and they also hurt the Maidens, or magic.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what Salem is.
She's a magical girl.
So, maybe Ozpin can't destroy Salem, but RWBY can.
With friendship.
And that's why Salem wants her.
With friendship.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. Kowalski analysis. Analysis complete. It holds up. Also, I guess Oscar learned all of this for the first time too. Interesting that Ozpin was inside his brain for that long and he actually like didn't know all of this.
No, and Crow learned all of this, and
yeah,
Maria.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't see her in any of the scenes, but I'm assuming she was included.
I'd like to think she was just like, well, that was weird.
Okay, can we speak just very clearly? Okay, it's obvious that this old woman is going to play an important role in things. But just for a moment, let's all pretend that she really is just some random old woman who suddenly now has the history of the universe explained to her just some random day when she was on a train. Like, could you imagine?
Stay behind.
Like, this has been the weirdest day. Like, I have learned things I don't think I should have learned.
I've seen things.
Like, I get that she's gonna be important and she's gonna do something and she's probably related in all of this, but at the same dang time, the idea of her not is just so funny to me that I can't.
It is.
I just can't. That's so good.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, going into the whole, like, Ozpin can't kill Salem, but, like, one of the questions that was brought up in RWBY Rewind was, name a protagonist to defeat Salem.
Okay.
And this lore expert, he just went with Thanos.
This lore expert is both obsessed with Thanos and bad at their job.
I mean, Thanos was kind of the protagonist in Infinity War, so...
No, Thanos was the big purple stupid.
I mean, in all fairness, I reckon Thanos could do it.
No, he probably couldn't.
I mean, if he had the gauntlet.
Oh. That's true.
Which, you know, that's his thing.
That's true. Yeah. Alright, fair enough. The thing about the gauntlet... that's a different thing entirely. We're talking about RWBY.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway,
well,
I'm sure that there are, like, people who are, like... I'm sure there's a lot of characters you could transplant from other realities that could beat Salem.
Yeah, you just gotta be able to slay immortal beings that are imbued with, like, the powers from gods.
So, like, friggin' Beerus could do it.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That even worked on gag characters. So, yeah, definitely. Anyway, so now we have the entire mystery of Ozpin pretty much all figured out and settled.
Yep.
So here's a question. How do you feel about Ozpin right now?
I really feel for him.
You know, it seems like we're two of, like, the only people who haven't really turned on Ozpin up until this point.
Yeah, I will say, I saw so many people speculating, oh, Ozpin's evil. I think this confirms he's not.
He's not evil. He's just some guy who ended up having to go through something that I don't think anybody could ever emotionally or comprehend. Like, how much of a better job would you have done?
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to say he didn't make mistakes, and I'm not going to say that he should be absolved of all guilt and crimes that he's committed, but I feel like none of them were ever of malicious intent, and he's already kind of seems to hate himself enough already. I mean, hence that quote, I've made more mistakes than any man, woman, or child in all of Remnant.
Exactly.
I feel like he knows, and I also feel like this is probably knowledge that he feels would get a lot of people to betray him or stop believing in him.
Hmm.
So here's the thing. while some of them are going to be, like, obviously... I mean, everyone's going to be blown back for a little bit just from everything they learned. But
Yeah.
who do you think is going to, like, still be on his side? Because my gut's telling me that RWBY will, which sort of implies that Team RWBY will sort of begrudgingly, at worst begrudgingly, you know, go along with RWBY because they want to stick with her.
Hmm.
But I want to know how Crow is going to react to all this.
Yeah, maybe that's like the alcoholism thing from the opening.
Well, I mean, he's already an alcoholic.
Good point. I mean, Winter did say he's always drunk,
He's always drunk.
as he was drinking from a flask.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always
I'm
hammered.
always drunk.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this is a good line.
That's
But,
my secret, Captain. I'm always pissed.
Yeah, pretty much. Drunk, I mean. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, it's possible that Crow's faith is going to get shaken up a bit. I mean, I feel like this might be the reason why Raven and maybe even Lionheart betrayed him. Because the fact of the matter is, the only other person to know about all this is Salem. So I imagine Salem could have just...
Lionheart, it's because, like, Salem got to him and
he was a coward.
Well,
I know. But I feel like at the same time, the information that she would have given him probably didn't help.
Though, I'm still wondering, if it's not Raven who asked the first question, then how did she find out? And she even said to Yang Weiss, there is no beating Salem.
Exactly, which implies that she must have asked something similar and decided to stop working with him at that point. And
Though, if she got the exact same thing that we got, then she just heard Osborn ask, how do I destroy Salem? And Jenna say, you can't.
Yeah, and then I guess she decided to take it at face value. And I think, like, everyone in the show, all of the characters are going to be hung up on that for a little while before they realize the exact wording. Yeah. Because that's exactly what genies do.
Exactly. I feel like if anyone, RWBY's going to pick up on that and just be like, no, Jin said, you can't destroy Salem.
Ain't never said nothing about some other guy. Jean,
yeah.
he could probably do it. Let's have him do it.
I mean, could Salem survive a stab to the brain?
I mean,
probably
she could survive a stab through a lower body part. So,
but that's not tell Jean that.
Jean will help. I don't know how, but he will help as the new Fall Maiden.
Oh, that's Jesus Christ. That's got me thinking, like, how is RWBY gonna explain this to them?
Well, I feel like it's probably going to result in what's alluded to in the opening cinematic, with John being very, very angry. And shoving Oscar to the wall.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's assuming they show up again this volume.
I'm pretty sure they will.
Yeah.
I mean, are they... Do you really... I mean, it's possible, but are they really going to spend the entire volume in a snowfield, just kind of, like...
Well, also...
hobbling their way over to the next town?
Also, from the trailer, the only thing we haven't really seen is when they're walking and Yang's, like, pushing the bike with Maria on it.
That's true. So that's... I'm assuming that's the next one.
But, like, that's it.
Yeah. Which means anything after that is something they didn't feel comfortable with teasing about yet. Like, I mean, none of this episode was in any of that preview.
Nope.
So, they're obviously keeping stuff from us. We should probably go find Giant Naked Blue Lady. Tell them, what's Rooster Teeth hiding?
And then she's like, no, that's a spoiler question. I can't answer that.
Damn you!
And then, no.
No one needs any of that noise. Well...
But just for those watching, I was going to reference something we were talking about before we started recording, but I was like, nah, that's not.
Yeah, it's just a comic. Don't matter.
As for what it is, I will leave that a mystery.
Mystery?
Ooh.
Fancy. Alright, so that was a bombshell after a bombshell. So, Dang, I don't even know what's gonna happen in the next part, but I'm looking forward to it.
I know something.
Oh, right, yeah, there's a preview and stuff. Alright, who, did Yang punch Oscar's head off?
No, Yang wasn't even in it.
Oh. Dang.
We open on Salem.
Oh, but I hate her.
And she's got the veins.
Yeah, she's a
so
veiny...
this is
she's
present-day Salem.
Yeah, she's a veiny lady, we know that.
So, she's looking down her table. We got Tyrion and Ward sitting on opposite sides, and at the very end are Hazel, Emerald, and Mercury on one knee bowing to Salem, like they just probably got back.
And they're like, and she said, Salem's like, so, you really messed that one up, huh?
Pretty much. She's asking, how is it that you failed so spectacularly? I forget the exact wording.
Yeah, but basically along those lines.
Yeah. So, Hazel says, like, the Faunus Militia showed up and it split our forces, but she stops them there.
Yeah.
Then asks, whose fault is this?
Ultimately?
Then Hazel gets up, and that's the end.
Okay, hang on a second.
I got two theories. Either Hazel's gonna take the blame, and Salem's gonna rush over, grab him by the throat, and do all sorts of crazy stuff.
Or
he's going to say the one with Kayers.
Possibly.
And if he says that...
But at the same time... Whose fault...
What are you thinking?
Whose fault was it, really, that everything fell apart?
Cinder?
I mean... Yeah. She's the one who screwed up, wasn't able to kill the other maiden, which was part of the plan. She knew that there was going to be one, so I assume it was part of Salem's plan to, you know, do that and get the relic and everything, and she's the one who screwed up. She's the one who got faulty information.
Yeah. So I guess we got three possibilities then.
Or he'll just say, it was Mercury, and then he'll die.
I'm good with that.
I'm okay with that, too.
Actually, no, I'm also good with saying it was Adam. He ran off.
Oh, yeah! He was kind of, sort of, technically part of that. Okay,
now we got, like, what, 5 possibilities?
The more we talk about it, the more I think we're just going to think of more possibilities.
Well, there's no way they can put the blame on Emerald.
I mean, they could.
Although she is the reason they were able to get out of there.
So, I mean, so it's the least likely that they'll say her, which is a shame because I hate her, but it is a fact.
Oh, wait, that's another thing from the trailer we haven't seen. We haven't seen Tyrion get all up in Emerald's business and be creepy.
Yeah.
I feel like that might happen this episode.
Probably. Well, hopefully we're able to cut back to, you know, the group, and it's not just an entire episode of Salem and the Evil Brigade. Wacky comedy hour with Salem and the gang.
I don't have too much of a problem with going back to the villains and seeing what's going over that
but
side.
I want to know how the heroes be all about.
I do too, but we also have to see what's going on with the villains.
But I don't like them. They're evil.
Hey. We might get one of them dead by the end of this volume.
That'd be nice.
It would.
Because
Place your bets, folks. Who's it gonna be?
Lionheart didn't really count last time.
Nah, not really.
He was introduced in the same volume he died in, so... Bleh.
Does Vernal... Oh, okay, never mind.
Vernal doesn't count either. She was just some no-named bandit lady that I guess was just super into the idea of being Raven's proxy. I don't even know, man.
But you were happy when she died.
Yeah, because she's awful. Even if her hair was cool. The tattoo kind of ruined it.
You'll at least give her that.
Yeah. She's got that going for her. Anyway, now that we're talking about dead characters' hairstyles, I feel like we have run dry of content, and it's time to say goodbye, unless you have something else you want to say.
Well, if we're still going on dead characters and hair, in terms of, like, named characters aside from Vernal, it was all redheads.
Yeah, well, people have made that connection.
Yeah, so...
Which is ominous.
Yeah, but hey, Vanol's dead, and
Yeah.
she had brown hair, so...
And so did Lionheart, but I don't know.
Well, Lionheart had grey hair.
That's the same.
So, the cycle has been broken. Well,
I'd still keep an eye on Nora, just in case.
Yeah, I'm still keeping an eye on the rest of Team Juniper.
As you should.
Because, you know, there is still that whole...
It's a bad theory, and you're a bad person for even thinking about it. Good night, everybody.
Good night.